when I first got diagnosed with testicular, you got to kind of go and learn all about that, right? And then it's like, oh, now it's gastric, so I got to go and learn all about that. I'm Frank Blandon. I'm 37 years old. I'm originally from Nicaragua, and I currently living in Georgia. I do software development for a living, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 gastric cancer. My diagnosis is a little bit complicated and unorthodox because the initial symptom I had was a hydrocele, which is fluids in the scrotum. I went to a urologist. He gave me antibiotics and sent me to do a chest, abdomen, and pelvis CT scan. I had a lot of enlarged lymph nodes. So I got diagnosed with testicular cancer, and they started me on chemotherapy for testicular cancer. I did 2 cycles of testicular cancer chemotherapy, which is when I lost my hair. When they were doing the review of their pathology, they said that it wasn't testicular cancer. I was diagnosed with carcinoma with a non-primary. To follow up, they did a CT scan, and it showed a mass in my stomach. So they decided to do a biopsy in the stomach, and that's how I got the initial diagnosis of gastric adenocarcinoma. It was stage 4, given that, it was found on different sites. So I did 2 rounds of chemotherapy for testicular cancer. Luckily, one of the components of testicular cancer chemotherapy is cisplatin, which is similar to the one that is used for gastric cancer. The lymph nodes had decreased by about 50%. Once it was found that it was gastric cancer, then the regimen was changed to FOLFOX, which also still includes the platinum base, and immunotherapy, which I'm doing Keytruda right now. At this point, the chemotherapy is palliative, so it's a lot milder than the one that is for testicular. One of the tests that was done at Indiana University was, next generation sequencing, and they test for biomarkers. I got immunotherapy based on high mutation burden. Even Keytruda was approved for people that have high mutation burden of 10 or more mutations. Based on that, I'm getting the Keytruda immunotherapy. I got tested for all the known biomarkers like HER2 and MSI and things like that. A couple of weeks ago, they did a test where they checked to see if there's known mutations that are hereditary. And in my case, it wasn't. There were no known risks. So at this point, I still don't know what could have caused that other than just, random bad luck, I guess. It's very easy to get isolated, which I've done it myself, right? You just don't feel like talking to anybody and whatever. And I guess that's okay for some time, but it is beneficial with the support groups to be able to discuss your feelings, have somebody to talk to, or somebody just to follow up to see how you're doing, right? Just to check on you and stuff like that. So my advice would be to not get isolated for too long, right? Because the longer that you stay isolated, the higher the risk to kind of come out of it. The hopes for me at this point is that it becomes like a chronic condition, right? That I can be on treatments. As far as for future patients, I'm hoping that there's better earlier diagnosis, right? Where people are kind of screened for. Like in my case, I didn't get diagnosed until it was at stage 4, but I'm hoping that for other people, they got diagnosed maybe at an earlier stage where, surgery or wait and see are the options that they have. The hope is that it doesn't really become like a death sentence, right? For people that once they get diagnosed, even though it's scary.